In my haste to get started, I didn't introduce myself, so I should do that. I'm Katie Durno, and I'm the Alumni Relations Manager here at school. So I was like, who's talking? So the next inductee that we are going to go to is going to be Jack Foster. He's Detroit University School graduate, 1948, and here to introduce him is a classmate, Grant Kirsten, DUS 1948. So would you like to come on up?
This won't be too long. I just fill you in on some of Jack's background. He had an older brother, Dan, and a younger brother, Bill. They both graduated from DUS. They were both lettermen. He married his high school sweetheart, Sally Ives. They have two daughters, Judy and Barb. They're both here tonight. And if you want to see Sally Ives, look at her daughters. Been a long time since we got out, and I thought about it an awful lot. And Sally graduated from Grosse Pointe Country Day in '48. She played field hockey. She was varsity, naturally. Short story, on one day Jack came over and said, the coach over at Country Day took a roll of pennies and threw it all over the practice field. He said, come on, I think he got I know he got myself, and I'm not sure if Bill was with us, Fisher. We go over there and we're looking for pennies because we want to find a lucky penny. You remember that? I didn't think you did. Because it's kind of dumb. We were there. Anyway, as I went on, the 40s were a much different time than they are now. Basically, we had four varsity sports. We had football, and that would have been Jack up here in '48, looking like the other young man. We had basketball in the winter, baseball and track in the spring. Jack lettered in all of them. Now he ended up with 14 letters, which is pretty hard to do, because in those days, most ninth graders played junior varsity. Jack didn't, he played varsity. And I had to laugh when I thought about this. Mr. Kimber, who taught algebra and things, I think, gee, that Dodo was up there again talking. At least he remembered his simple math, but he sure was a lousy algebra student. Anyway, in Jack's senior year, you can see it on the poster over there, he was captain of the basketball team, or co-captain of the basketball team, captain of the football team. He was a member of the student council. He was president of the athletic council. He was boys' yearbook editor. Country Day had their own. They had a girl, and they had, of course, faculty advisor. Jack was a good student all the way through. He was one of the tops in the class. There were 17 of us. Out of the 17, I was number 17 academically. But we all managed to get through finally. And I was talking to some of the people here. The old letter sweater, which is interesting, and I see some of the red and blue ties here that we used to wear when we were in school. There, over there. They kind of took the starch out of me when he put up everything that Jack had done while he was here. I got some notes, just a few more things. I wanted to make sure. Oh, and when we were here, it was a custom that the senior class left the school a gift. Now, if any of you have been in the gym and saw the scoreboard down there, that was a gift from the class of '48. Jack had come in as senior class president and said, what are we going to do? I assume he talked with Mr. Kimber, who is coach of basketball about what we should get for the school. And so Jack presented to the class, and we all agreed, yeah, it sounded like a good idea. So we got together and brought the school the scorecard, the scoreboard. The other thing, Jack went to Dartmouth, and at that time, Dartmouth played U of M. And I saw Jack play at the Big House at U of M when he was in college. He obviously was varsity at Dartmouth, and that was where he always wanted to go. He, after graduation, he went with the Ryerson Steel Corporation, where he ended up as president of that. And it's my honor and pleasure to offer Jack this trophy.
Run to practice, and he called us all birds. I mean, that was he was an Army person, a great friend of Blake's at Dartmouth. And so he says, "All right, you birds." Now I can't imitate him, but he would really, you know, if you were on the back side of him and the wind was against you, you never heard anything he said. You heard. So he said, "All right, you birds." He said, "Now when you go out there, you're going to see a lot of people." Now remember, Dartmouth has just one set of stands over here, and there's something called the Yale Bowl. He said, "I don't want you to be nervous out there." He says, "I want you to remember one thing. They built this stadium when cement was cheap." If you'll allow me this, if Sally were here, she always rang a bull bell. Thank you.